Yes, good evening, our viewers. This is UPB's Boxing. I'm Hussein Babo, and today we are going to talk about. It's going to be a very long night. That's what I have to tell you, because we have to go through the boxing event which is going to happen in Saudi Arabia. That's at the Kingdom Arena, whereby Anthony Joshua is going to be tussling it out with the Francis Ngannou, or from France, or you can call him the Cameroonian international. In France, that's where part of his history can trace it back from. So today, I myself, with my brother Chris, we are here. I am going to be discussing about this event. About you, then I'll come back and continue to discuss and see what's going to happen tonight. But it's gonna be a very long night. Just our viewers, just stay tuned as we start to unfold whatever is going to happen tonight.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Oh, dear viewers, today I'm gonna give you Ngannou versus Anthony. They are all Africans. What I can tell you, originally they are Africans,
African descent.
Yeah, they went to Anthony Joshua in England also.
Yeah.
Then Ngannou went to France.
Yes.
But if you look backward, history of Francis Ngannou, the guy just know he suffered a lot to become a champion. Become a champion.
But has he yet turned into a champion?
Yeah.
No, unless you're talking about the UFC, the MMA style. But when it comes to
as
boxing,
long as you go in the ring, you
yeah.
as long as you go in the ring, you're a champion. You turn to be a champion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I can tell
On
you.
that side, I'm addressing my case, but okay, at one given moment, everybody's good. Okay. So, Chris,
Yeah.
I don't know what's your take about this fight here, the build up. How do you see these guys coming together through this fight?
According, if you go to stats how they talk, if you see in boxing, from Joshua, he's more experienced. If you go to boxing,
Yes,
the
because
ring,
he has 33 fights. Yes, and he has
fights.
He has lost 3. So yeah, because those 3 fights which he has lost, they are all was trying to defend his titles.
Yeah, and
Because,
someone whom you defend with someone,
yeah.
you can say that he's a good boxer.
He was the first loss which he suffered was against Andy Ruiz. That was he was trying to defend his titles, the WBO, the WBA, plus the Ring Magazine. So basically, they take them the 3 titles. Then he lost that fight against Andy Ruiz. In their rematch, he had to come back and defeat Andy Ruiz in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And nowadays, Anthony Joshua is calling Saudi Arabia his home away from. He has had good fortunes when, at least when he tries it around in Saudi Arabia. But tonight, nobody can tell that maybe his good fortunes are gonna continue them. But that is it. Even he's apart from winning, regaining the title, then he went into another, because after losing it, then he went for a rematch against Andy Ruiz. Then he captured those titles again. And then he had to face one of the silky boxers in heavyweight. He moves as if as like a middleweight boxer or a super lightweight boxer. That one by the names of Alexander Usyk. So he lost the double header. First lost the first fight, and then another. He had to. By the way, he had to lose again against Alexander Usyk when he was trying to at least the titles. So after losing both titles, both fights, so he had to set against Albert Elias, the fight which he won.
It was the KO.
Yes.
Against, was it Wilder?
Elias, yes,
it
was in first round, and then they had to fight again with the
Anthony Joshua.
And then Anthony Joshua, speaking blankly, apart from the fight he had in Saudi Arabia again, when he was fighting Otto Warren, and remember when he was tussling it out with the Tyson Fury, it was a very hard nut to crack on the side of Tyson Fury, but because we got a very big cut to win the fight. So Anthony Joshua came with a very, very, very good display to win that fight there. And if you can say it's one of his best performances, maybe he can of Anthony Joshua the way he performed. And remember, then on that very night, we had that was a card in Saudi Arabia because we had. Yes, he was fighting Joseph Parker on that very night, on that very card. Yes, but the tricky bit of it, it was for them against Joseph Parker, and then Anthony Joshua to win against the Otto Warrior. And if both fighters could win, that means they and the world didn't walk his talk. He failed to win the fight. So immediately, Anthony Gentlewold said Anthony Joshua had to tussle it in a very smart way so that he could win his fight to avoid him. Because for me, for him, yes, for him, he had lost. That's the footage of Anthony Joshua when he was that's so it was like for him to avoid the fighting,
he had to win.
To avoid fighting Deontay Wilder, he had to put in a very so that he could avoid him. That's
but Anthony punched very well. Was good in the ring.
Was
prepared, did everything. Boxed.
They could take away the credit from him because the performance was so dope and it was on. So according to you, I don't know this builder after, because I must say Ngannou from you can say from Norway when it comes to boxing, because he was in the side of MMA and he was a champion. So from MMA to 0 fights in boxing, then he comes to boxing. He had to face Tyson Fury, and it was a very, very underdog on that very night. Nobody could even think and dream of his performance, whatever he had on that very night. In the same arena we are going to be tonight. Is revisiting it again with one of the best boxers right now in heavyweight. Let's say Anthony Joshua. So after fighting Tyson Fury and putting on a very, very good display, whereby some people think it just they were like, they couldn't let him win against the WBC champion by the names of Tyson Fury. So I don't know. Do you agree with the majority, or for you have your own take about this, whereby you can say maybe it was not his night, or maybe it was about Tyson Fury? I don't know. What's your take about that fight?
Something funny about this bout is that Francis Ngannou is one of the few boxers who have faced champions or tricky boxers like Tyson Fury, one of the best boxers. Just in like 2 months, then he's facing Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua, yes. Something
so difficult. But what you can say that Anthony Joshua is good, but Francis Ngannou showed his skill and what he can do. And I think AJ is somehow scared according to what he saw or what Francis was doing to Tyson Fury.
Because that fight that was on 28th of October 2023. Yes, it was in October.
Around 3
by the closing to November, because it was 28th. So now on 8th of March, then again with another another champion.
That's what I can tell you. Something difficult. People may say that Francis Ngannou is just excited, urban excitement. But I think just because that guy is so committed on what he's doing and he likes what he's doing, loves both. That's what you're seeing there.
Yes, that's
when Tyson Fury is down. When that guy was talking, I was like, what did you tell that guy when he's down? Francis Ngannou was like, I was telling him that, have you seen it? Have you seen it? Because nobody could say even can try knock Tyson Fury down, even knock down. But just in like one round, someone was down.
It was in the third round of the fight.
But someone because down.
Tyson Fury it came with a rushing moment where they could try to scare him. But the bell was like, okay, you know, in the first round, by the bell, you know. But as things progressed, then it was like, okay, I mean, to a very, very, very deep end here, and the fight was not easy on his side.
Okay.
But the bookmakers themselves, they were like, maybe he underestimated Francis Ngannou, and maybe he did not train as he could train as he used to. But one of his tricks which he uses during the fights is to clinch and lean on the opponents.
Okay.
And when he did that against Francis Ngannou, remember Francis Ngannou is from MMA, where the things are being used regularly 24 seconds. So he could master the skills of handling Tyson Fury when it comes to clicks and the rest. So when clinching, for him was he could hold his hand in that he could squeeze him. So Tyson Fury couldn't handle it as he was planning, because when he did it against him, Deontay Wilder, it was so effective. Reason being, Deontay Wilder is skin and tall, and he is not, you know, his legs couldn't support him well, so he could weaken himself so easy. But against Francis Ngannou, that really returned to be something very different. But tonight, we are having this fight. So those are the records on the screen which you can see against Francis Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou. Remember, Francis Ngannou, that was his first fight. Then with the Tyson Fury, he had gone a distance of so many
fights. That's amazing.
If
you see here, the Predator came yesterday on the way in when was more heavier than AJ.
Yes.
But last time, Gypsum King, Tyson Fury, it was more heavier.
It was more heavier than
Francis.
So Francis Ngannou, when you talk about way in, it's like he wants to use his power against Anthony Joshua. And so if he comes in when he's heavier, that means his power. And at this, because now the bookmakers, they were like, okay, this guy here is one of the hardest punchers. And you can feel, or you can see it according to his performance when he was fighting against him. Tyson Fury. So tonight it was like, it was heavier. Reason being, according to me, all my thinking was like, okay, he wants to use his power because he wants to knock out Anthony Joshua by all means. That's his plan, because he knows it 100%. If they go a distance of 10 rounds, he might not take the day as it was in the first fight against Tyson Fury in Riyadh, the same arena where they were. If that's the same arena, this fight is going to happen tonight. That's Kingdom Arena in Saudi Arabia. So I think he wants to use that trick of having the power and everything to knock off Anthony Joshua. Remember, Anthony Joshua, when it comes to his chin, it's not that strong, but Francis Ngannou, his chin can hold some power, because we saw it against Tyson Fury, and he resisted, by the way, the jabs and the uppercuts and what have you. So all the dirty tricks, he weathered through them, and he had to go a distance of 10 rounds. So today we are talking about this fight, but it has several undercards which we might go through, because apart from the main fight, we shall come back on that as time progresses. But tonight, I don't know how you see Zhilei Zhang. Zhilei Zhang against Joseph Parker, they're from New Zealand. Zhilei Zhang is going to be defending his title, the WBO mandatory, because he won the WBO mandatory against Joy Joyce. Remember, Joy Joyce, he had 2 fights against Zhilei Zhang. Both of them he lost those fights, because he was being billed as one of the best and the hardest punchers by the names of Joy Joyce. But as things progressed in this fight here, he couldn't withstand the energy and the power of Zhilei Zhang. I don't know what's your take about this fight as we go through it.
Okay, first of all, Joseph Parker, according to his past fight, the recent fight he fought here in Saudi Arabia, he looked so good, very, very good against Wilder, because Wilder came in that game when, if you go to bookmakers, on percentage of 100, Wilder was like 70% to win that game, because there was a bet between if Wilder wins AJ, then they will face each other. Get after facing each other.
So the bookmakers knew exactly that Uko crew, Deontay Wilder has to weather through the energy and the tricks and the styles of the box style of Joseph Parker to take the night.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen.
Because if you also go around and you see Wilder and Anthony Joshua, because people are saying that those guys don't want to fight themselves, the heavyweights. They're hiding themselves. Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. But what they put a trick, if Wilder wins against Parker, and then AJ wins against Otto Wellen, then they will face each other.
Exactly.
What did happen? So if you got Joseph Parker, the way in the ring physically, the guy looked so good. The way he was jabbing, he was moving very well. Because Wilder came that game, knowing that he will do his tricks of jabbing, moving, changing, orthodox, what? But Parker was
even sending it for his right hand, because now, according to Deontay Wilder, he once told the public that he has only one punch. It's his right hand. If it doesn't work, if maybe you find the tricks, because Joseph Parker, what he did right was he could not let Deontay Wilder set him in a range whereby he could use his right hand effectively. Whenever he could want to use his right hand, he could just stand into his just like this straight. In that, Deontay Wilder's right hand couldn't be effective at any single given moment. And even all his targets, the jabbing and what have you, they're just over the head. So hitting over the head and, at the back of the head. So they were not effective at all on that very night.
If you see Joseph Parker, the way he was moving, if you see also, it was the same because he was moving the whole ring as if he's not a heavyweight. The way he was moving. So it was so hard for Wheeler to stop that guy. If you go to this side, of Zhilei Zhang. Zhilei Zhang is one of the heavyweights that you can say that is speedy in boxing. Like you say under Luis.
Yes.
The way Ortiz, the way they do their boxing. They are heavyweight, but the way they do combinations. They are more than any heavyweight boxer alongside the whole world. Because the way he was boxing, the way he boxes, combination, 3 punches at once, jabbing. You just want to know the boxing, it will be good. The bout will be so interesting because Parker comes with the excitement of winning against Wilder.
One of the best and the top boxers.
I don't know when Wilder is coming back, but but he's still cooking. But I think he'll come back. No champions don't relax. He's coming back, but at this game it will be so interesting to watch against Zhilei Zhang and Joseph Parker. I think it won't be a KO. To be 12 round. To go as we say there, Wilder. Everything about Wilder. If we win, someone goes down. The way he's excited, I don't know. Remember against Tyson Fury, the guy was so excited and we knocked down.
And he was going to take it. So that's the Deontay Wilder against Robert Arias. Yes. So now, if you talk about, because you're talking about Zhilei Zhang against the Joseph Parker. Remember this fight. Zhilei Zhang, he has his nickname as the Big Bang. So the Big Bang himself is a southpaw with a 6.6 height. That's 198 centimeters tall. All the way, from Bloomfield, New Jersey, USA. But is born. Is a true legend of China. That's what you can say. But on this night tonight, he's going to be defending his title for the 3rd time. Remember, he's going to be defending for the 2nd time. He went against Joy Joyce, and then he had to. That was on 15th of April, 2023, and then in September 23rd, the same year, I had to come and defend it. By the way, that was in the 3rd round of the fight, because in the first fight against Joy Joyce, that's the card tonight. That's Zhilei Zhang, the Big Bang himself, against Joseph Parker, all the way from New Zealand. So it was like, I've not got enough of Zhilei Zhang, and so he had to call for a rematch, because he went into his contract and he said, I have to at least to have a rematch against this gentleman here, and he called for a rematch on the spot of the eye, on the blink of the eye. As Zhilei Zhang was like more than ready, and he did the same. It was like, in this second fight, it was like a whitewash, because in the first fight, it was like, it was a technical or because the fight was stopped on the doctor's advice after Zhilei Zhang using his punch throughout, his jab throughout to dismantle Joy Joyce's eye. So at the end of the day, the doctor said, enough is enough, and the fight was stopped. So Joey Joyce was like, maybe I can defeat this guy here. So he went into his contract, said, I have to get a rematch because that one is contractual.
Okay.
So they went through it. Then this one was a stoppage in the third round of the fight. So that means Zhilei Zhang was more and more prepared to knock off Joey Joyce. Now we are going to into this fight here. The Big Bang himself against Joseph Parker. Remember, Joseph Parker is really happy and energetic after winning against Deontay Wilder. So he's into this fight here. He's like, okay, I have to go and get this title because he's also looking for a title shot. Remember, after the undisputed event, which is going to happen in May this year in Saudi Arabia, that's between Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. These some sanctioning bodies, they are not ready for any boxer to hold those titles throughout. And they were like, after the unification, we are going to have our titles, or the one who will win the titles will be mandated to defend or to challenge or to be challenged by the mandatories. That means IBO is one of them. They were like, for them, they are not going to wait for any champion out of Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk. For them, immediately after the unification is done, the undisputed is done, for them, they go another way of at least having that fight with different fighters.
Heavyweight, when they are competing, when they are fighting.
Exactly. So if you have your titles, a person holds them for almost a year and he has no fight, that means there is no business. So between Joseph Parker and Zhilei Zhang, for me, I'm thinking otherwise because we are like, they might get distance, but I have a feel Zhilei Zhang is going to stop Joseph Parker. I have it in mind. The Big Bang himself, is 40 years of age, but for me it's like, age is just a number.
But
age
boxing is weird. You
age
is a number, but
hey. But for him, so that's it tonight. That's one of the best fights we're going to have tonight. It's a WBO mandatory in Saudi Arabia. That's Kingdom Arena Riyadh. Remember, this is one of the best arenas, the one you can talk of when it comes to boxing. So apart from that, there's another fight. It's in Israel. Magrimova against Magrimova against Magomed Kabanova. Remember, this is a WBA World Super World title. It's a vacant 12 rounds of boxing. I don't know what you think of this fight, and whom do you think is going to take the night as we are in Saudi Arabia?
Okay, as I've said, today we're gonna give you live event Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. Riyadh. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be something wonderful today. Seeing someone from MMA putting on a greater show against Anthony Joshua, who is willingly, that's the Kingdom Arena, for everything that you can, football, everything's there. And that's what we are seeing in Saudi Arabia, hosting big bouts, every month, because after this month, even in March, there's another one.
Even in May.
Even in May, it's another fight. That's what they call boxing. So that's it. What I can tell you today, just keep on your eyes open. Gonna give it live commentary at around 10, I think, according to hometown.
Yes, around 10, around I'm there.
Around 10.
Yeah. So that's it, our viewers at UPBC Boxing. We are live and we're in Saudi Arabia. And remember, today's 8th of March 2024. We are going to be at Kingdom Arena, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And remember, this boxing event or this fight is being sanctioned by British Boxing Board of Control, and we have promoters by the names of Head Han from March from Boxing Promotions and Frank Cowan from Queensberry Promotions. Remember, these are one of the best promoters right now. Both they hail in UK, but when it comes to business, they couldn't. Let me say, like some few years back, they couldn't even sit on one table to discuss any business. But when it comes to money, yes, Saudi Arabia is calling all the shots. That's what I can tell you. These guys, they always discuss and make phone calls to discuss and see how they can be on the same card. It's very tricky. Remember, there are even other media houses who call the shots on this, because they are side of March Boxing Promotions. They have the the Zhang. Then on this side here they have Sky Sports, so sometimes it's tricky to pull the fight together because of the image rights and what have you. But when it comes to money, everything is possible. That's what you have to know in the entire world, and we are seeing it as exemplary being exposed by these guys here. These two promoters, one of the greatest promoters right now UK is having at the moment. Remember the matchmaker, they are Steve Francis with Kevin Roon Jr. They are doing it on that side. Then Neil Scott is the doctor tonight, and remember they are gonna be, if they all go a distance, they are going to be 94 rounds of boxing in Saudi Arabia. That's Kingdom Arena. This is UPBC Boxing, and tonight we are going to give you each and everything when it comes to this boxing event in Saudi Arabia. You are going to concur with me or agree with me or disagree with me, but this is the matchmaking I'm having tonight, and believe me, it's not going to change unless or otherwise. But according to the matchmaking, let me go through it, because we need to be knowing and keeping our fingers crossed for these guys, because they have to come through and at least give us whatever they're going to.
By the way, if you see according to the screen you're seeing, the stats, Joshua is orthodox. That's the style. That is the guy who doesn't change.
Yes.
If he's in the ring, orthodox. The things of Tyson Fury changing to that's what also Ngannou did. He was changing, like was like me, I'm comfortable when I'm in South people. But Fury was not comfortable in it.
So, and the urge difference that because this one is 34 years and then I started 30 years, this one has had 33 fights and the other one has had only one fight. You know, it's really disturbing, because the losses, they are 3-1. And then the knockouts, he has 34 against 0. And then if you talk about the height,
knockouts, like if you go to MMA, Ngannou has like 14 to
we are in boxing, my brother. We are in boxing. And remember when they were in their press conferences, then Tyson Fury at least I tried to chip into hype and everything. And then Francis Ngannou told Tyson Fury that maybe he can defeat him every day of the week.
Two times.
Even 2 times. Oh man, that was a crack on my side. It was really a crack. You can't tell me you can defeat a person every day of the week. And on Sunday, two times. That means in the morning you can fight and win, and then the evening also fight and win.
Let's go for a rematch.
By the way, at one given moment, we might have a rematch of these guys. At one given moment.
Back to MMA.
No.
He said after I'm going back in MMA, no business this side.
Believe me, can I call it comment? It's like, that's not even a stand, standardly, whether it's through, but the benefit he has got in boxing and the name he has made for himself in boxing, yes, within only one fight, and even the second one, he cannot admire to go back to MMA, because MMA is not going to get anything. And by the way, there are so many boxers in front of him, but maybe after this fight, it might be difficult for some boxers to stand in front of Francis Ngannou.
As in boxing?
Yes, as in boxing, because remember, now, as it might go as it is being planned, if he wins the fight, that means he will stand a chance of fighting or challenging for the major titles. That means if he gets that opportunity, that means there are going to be a few boxers who can stand in front of him so that they could fight. Because
we are seeing when guys are coming from MMA. Is it Jepo? He's coming. He's going to face the legend, Mike Tyson. Match. Guys are coming from MMA. Boxing. I don't know what's in boxing, but guys are coming from.
But boxing is money. The money is there.
But even that down is money. I don't know why it was. So
MMA. If you go by history, Tyson, like Francis Ngannou, his payday, it was top. It was dope, because it was over 10 millions in just one fight like this. So believe me, he can't go back to MMA whereby he was trying to get money to survive, because after getting this money here, he had to go and get one of the mansions, what so that one check he got, it turned out to be, I'd say it was a game changer for his life. So it might be very difficult for him to go back.
It will look so bad if he lost to Tyson Fury and he's going to lose again to Anthony Joshua. Two losses. on the box ring.
Chris,
for the boxer like
Chris, believe me,
yeah.
Francis Ngannou, he has nothing to lose. On this night, tonight,
Yeah.
he has nothing to lose. Reason being, for him, it's just like, getting something which you look to the expect at any single given moment. That is. Because right now, you fought against one of the best, by the names of Tyson Fury, a WBC champion, and you saw the fight went. Even right now, the public, they are not like 100% Tyson Fury won the fight.
Yeah.
So against Anthony Joshua, because Joshua is one of the best boxers we have in heavyweight, and you can't dispute that. So if Francis Ngannou loses against Anthony Joshua, that means it will be the other way around, and it will be so upsetting on the side of Anthony Joshua to lose against Francis Ngannou. But Francis Ngannou, for him, is just staying business. What's going to change a little is like, okay, maybe the coming cards, they might change a little, because after losing against the two top dogs in boxing, that means you go for other minor boxers.
Joseph Parker is there.
Yeah, but maybe in the rankings and business sense of it might not come out. That's why you saw Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou trying to push for a rematch, because they know very well at the end of the day, if you push for that, you'll be making money rather than fighting. In boxing, you don't have to go for 20 fights before you become rich.
But it will look so awkward if a boxer who has a champion in MMA, looking on his box record, his record, having losses like 10 fights.
But against who? They can't beat it, but against who?
Because you may say like, very much for Tyson Fury, and those are 3 bouts. Let's assume he loses. Then he goes for.
Why do you think he's going to lose?
Let's assume.
No.
Because they said he has
and even this one he is going to win.
It's good.
Yes, it's going to win.
If it's a KO, then there will be no doubt. But if it goes to 12 rounds, as it was, then it will be something. If it goes to rounds, like it was, because again, it's Tyson Fury, the guy did everything. The guy did everything. 2 knockdowns.
Yes.
Knock down a champion, did something.
And this time around, we knock out AJ. So, you guys, I'm saying this, so the matchmaking, let's try to go through this matchmaking and see what's gonna happen tonight in Saudi Arabia. That's Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, one of the best arenas we're having, one of the best arenas we're having in the entire world. Even America, they don't have such arenas as it comes to boxing, because they can project the ring from underground, and then it is being raised up. At the end of the day, you start fighting and doing whatever you're doing at the sport. So it's gonna be epic tonight, and just keep it at UPBC Boxing, because we are going to be having it live from Saudi Arabia. But the matchmaking, according to what we have here, it's Andre Margoski versus Yuan Torres. That fight is yes, it's 8 round of fights. That's in heavyweight boxing. And I want to tell you, Ziad Amriov versus Christian Lopez Flores. I want to tell you by this yes, matchmaking is 6 rounds of fighting. It's super lightweight. Then Roman Fury. I remember Roman Fury is a brother to Tyson Fury. Remember, their family, and they are seeing business when it comes to boxing across. I saw even Roman Fury, he has got 3 fights. He has managed to win all the 3 fights. He has a 0 on a loss and a 0 on draw. And remember, he's fighting Martin Suvak. So this fight is going to be entertaining. Remember, even Martin Suvak is having 2 fights. He has won them. And remember, there is no loss on his side. So somebody's all tonight. Roman Fury against Martin Suvak must disappear at one given moment. Those are 4 rounds of boxing in heavyweight pro boxing fight. Then another fight, it's between Justice Hyun versus Kevin Herrera. Remember, this fight also is going to happen tonight, and this is a 10 round of boxing. That's heavyweight. It's a WBO global heavyweight vacant title against these 2 gentlemen tonight in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. Then another fight, that's what you don't have to miss tonight. It's between Jack McGann. That's 10 round fight. That's super welterweight boxing fighting. It's because between Jack McGann McGann versus Louis Green. That's 10 rounds of boxing. Then if we go to Mark Chamberlain, that's 10 rounds of boxing. That's WBA Intercontinental Lightweight. That's a vacant title versus Gavin Gwen. Also, yes, managed to tussle out in the squared ring. That's 20 fights. He has managed to win 17 of them and lost 2 fights, then a draw. I want to tell you, you don't have to miss the gentleman called Ray Vargas. Ray Vargas against Nick Paul. Nick Paul, they are going for featherweight boxing. That's 12 rounds of boxing. That's a WBC world title fight tonight. Then Israel Ademov versus Magomed Akobanova. I want to tell you, those are 12 rounds of boxing. That is super welterweight. That's a WBL World Super World title. Is going to happen tonight. I want to tell you guys who are keeping it at UPBC Boxing, you have to be seeing these guys here around because they are going to give us one of the entertainments tonight. We are going to have these guys in the ring, and everybody is promising to leave it at Kingdom Arena because they're doing it in Saudi Arabia and the history is being made tonight. That's another fight tonight. I'll tell you, we talked about it. It's Zhilei Zhang, the big bang himself, is going to be facing Joseph Parker. And remember, Zhilei Zhang has gone 28 fights. He has managed to win 26 fights. He has lost 1 and draw 1 on his side. Then Joseph Parker, he has gone for 37 fights. He has managed to win 34 fights and he has lost 3 fights. So tonight it's going to be a WBO Interim World Heavyweight title. That is 12 rounds of boxing. Just keep it at UPBC Boxing. Then the main card tonight, the main card is between Anthony Joshua, who has gone for 30 fights on his name and he has managed to win 27 of those. Then he has lost 3. Remember, all those 3 fights he was trying to go for the titles. 1, 2 he had them, then another they were just maybe he was challenging and he failed to challenge to get the title or to recapture the title, being a 2 or 3-time champion, because now he's a 2 world champion, then becoming a 3 world champion is there waiting on his side. Then Francis Ngannou, a man who has no history when it comes to boxing, now is coming for his second fight. Remember, he had to fight one of the top dogs in boxing, and that's Tyson Fury in his first fight in the Kingdom Arena. That's last year in October. That's 28th, 2023. Now it's going to be that's Francis Ngannou. Yes,
just in one fight.
Just in one fight. Yeah, that's boxing for you. That's boxing for you. That's what I can tell you. So that's the main card tonight between Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is aiming for the world title because he wants to be called a 3-time world champion. Is he going to make it tonight? Because after winning against Francis Ngannou, Bill Miyumi has to go for the title shot, as it might be vacant at one given moment. That's I believe the IBF title will be vacant, but will be in position to fight for it. I want to tell you, maybe because these guys here, they are trying to see whatever is going to happen on their side. They want to make names on their side. So, but, and another but, on the IBF title, because the gentleman all the way is called, is the Croatian international, is called Filip Hagovic. Is the #1 mandatory challenger for the IBF. So that means if IBF decides, guys, France, after the undisputed fight between Anthony Joshua and between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, for us, we are taking our title. That means Filip Hagovic will be the main man to challenge for that title. So if either Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk, they're like, for us, we are not ready to go and challenge or defend our title against Filip Hagovic, that means AJ or Francis Ngannou will be in the line of fighting Filip Hagovic. But Filip Hagovic is the man who defeated Big Bang himself, there's Zhilei Zhang. They are from China, but they went a distance of 12 rounds of boxing. So I'm not saying at one given moment Anthony Joshua standing in front of Philip Egovic for the title. I'm not saying that.
Joshua's faced
yes, he has done more than Philip Egovic.
Yeah. More than because if he faced Uso, yes, best heavyweights,
and he lost.
And he lost. And it was not a surprise of losing that one.
And now, believe me, he might not think of losing for a title. So that means he has to calculate his shots of having a title fight at one given moment. You have to go into a title shot at least when you have the percentage on your side.
Yeah, that's
saying okay, 60 or 70 on your side, then you go to an opponent who's in. You know, at one given moment you can walk out. Yes, you can walk out with it. So now, according to the performance we saw, when Anthony Joshua was fighting Otto Warren, that performance was dope. Was on top notch.
Yeah.
That one maybe if he pulls out that performance again tonight, he might walk out as a victor.
Yeah.
But if he has a shot of that, believe me, it might not happen inside.
On the other side, Otto Warren was that day looked so bad on that day. I don't know what happened, but
it was.
I don't know.
On my side, I think it was a better performance from Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know because the way he was boxing, as if he had feared the bout, or Joshua had improved because he had changed the coach by that time.
Yes.
He had moved to another coach.
Ben Davidson.
Yeah, that's why he changed. But the way I was fighting was good, but it was so bad. Couldn't even throw a jab because the way they boxed as if he has never boxed before.
So, that night and Otto Warren, it wasn't really a good show. So, but I don't know, how do you see Saudi Arabia with such trying to pull out such epic fights? How do you see Saudi Arabia now becoming the talking point when it comes to boxing?
Saudi Arabia as a country, first of all, according to its features, it looks awesome. Got tourism, everything's good. Because if you go back, it went to like a World Cup, it was among that side of the Arabians.
Yes, it
was in Qatar.
Yes, it was in Qatar.
It means that sports is improving, not only in boxing, but also in football. Because what I discovered, that their government has a portion. It's just there for sports. For any sport. If it's boxing, just bring
football,
out. Just bring your on table and what they talk about it. How is it? How it help the country? How according to boxing in Saudi Arabia, they are being big boxers. Not these small ones, all the upcoming. But they bring top boxers. But what is missing there? What you consider among the home country boxers, giving them opportunity.
Yeah, but I think they are there, though they have not yet, at least, as you may see on the side of football, because yes, that's why they try to go for these the Galacticos, the big names, the Cristiano Ronaldos, the Karim Benzemas, the Robin Neves, the what, and so the Jordan Henderson from Liverpool, they were like trying to pull these guys on their side so that the public can remember they have you might say the bad image on the public, which is being portrayed that maybe on the side of human rights in Saudi Arabia is not good, but for them they're trying to at least to sell Saudi Arabia to the public and telling them, you know what, if you might use sports as something for to indicate that Saudi Arabia is a very good country, then it's use sports. That's why they have the consortiums.
That could be good, but it would be good bring big boxers, top boxers, brand boxers. At least on the card, like 2 events in a month or 2 months, at least we put at least a guy from Saudi Arabia himself, at least on the card. That could motivate, apart from the people from outside coming in, then the local people, they come in and they want their fellow boxers.
But I believe sooner or later, that's going to happen in Saudi Arabia. Because they even had one of their women who won a fight in Saudi Arabia for the first time on their side. And so I believe maybe there's work in progress on that side. You see that maybe they're trying to groom the boxer from Saudi Arabia, because you have a point on that, because at one given moment you have to start promoting boxers from your own ground. So I believe maybe they work on that, because you see the way they're trying to put all the resources into sports. It's really amazing. And the arenas they're trying to construct up. Yes.
Because if you see that fight of Tyson Fury in the ring,
yes,
and then the cards on the other side,
yes,
and the main fight,
yes,
on another different ring,
yes,
and it just came from down. That's I think it's the first time in box. I don't know. Maybe
it's no way apart from Saudi Arabia. This not like
now, meaning today, expect something more than that.
Maybe because the fight was really organized, and it was stopped on that side. So tonight we expect something good from Saudi Arabia. We expect something good from Kingdom Arena, because they always have to entertain, because they have to live at least to the expectation of the deal as it might be. The fighters being organized in Saudi Arabia, because for them it's not about money, but it's about the reputation which it brings on table when it comes to the sport and the image rights of the country itself, and those who are trying to fund and facilitate as such boxing events, or such a gathering of sports, bring them together, because they try to have most of the icons of the sport on their side. And remember, even Muhammad Ali paid a visit. It was 1978 when he went there for his age and what have you. Then went there for Umrah. So it's like all the way they were trying to build something towards this.
Davis was there for Umrah.
Yes.
For Umrah was for what? Because they take this there and he turned to Islam.
He turned to
Islam.
Islam. So these guys here, when it comes to boxing, because I'm telling you, just keep it at UPBC boxing. We are going to have each and everything about this fight tonight. They're going to discuss issues concerning this event that's going to happen here at UPBC. Each and everything. We are going to have the fight live at UPBC boxing, and we are going to handle it here at Riyadh, because we are going to be live in Riyadh. That's what we can tell you at UPBC. So just keep it there and just try to follow whatever is happening here at UPBC.
Maybe even Tyson Fury's ring entry was one of his best, I think, last month in October.
In October, yes.
Yeah, when he was like a king. I think it was his first time to come like that.
The Gypsy King was destroyed, you know. The Gypsy King of that night was destroyed.
One of his toughest nights.
Exactly. The way I admire Francis Ngannou is here to stay and is here to destroy wherever he or she calls himself the king.
I'll beat both of you, Joshua and Tyson Fury. I can beat both of you.
If you call yourself a predator, if you call yourself a king, if you call yourself the Omega, if you call yourself the Terminator, whatever name you call yourself,
there for you.
Francis Ngannou is there for you. Francis Ngannou, I love his resume, because for him it's like, you know, yes, just for me, for me here. It told Tyson Fury, you know what, I might beat you today, tomorrow, the other day, the entire week, and then twice on a Sunday.
Don't life in heavyweight.
You get a point.
That's life in heavyweight.
And now it's trying to walk through these big giants who have been boxing. And remember, all tonight, all another day, those top guys, one is gonna go down against Francis Ngannou. I have so much trust in him, to the extent I'm like, okay, if it happens tonight, no one is on my side. No one is on my side if it happens, because
you say that Ngannou is going to win.
Ngannou, I'm telling you.
If you're watching, just record this party. Hussein is saying that Ngannou is going to win. He's 100% sure.
I'm telling you, at one given moment, Francis Ngannou is gonna go down with these so-called heroes of heavyweight. These guys here, they've been, wandering around. They don't want to fight one another. So now Francis Ngannou is beating everybody. Like, for me, I'm coming. And remember, against Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou won against Tyson Fury. The entire world knows that. But the politics and what have you of boxing took it to the center stage.
Someone from MMA to win. Because if you see someone who bet David Stanker against Ryan, that if David Stanker wins, it was like $1 million. and the guy won, and the guy gave him his money. I don't know what you're betting now, because I'm saying that AJ is winning the fight.
Yes, we are talking about boxing, but betting is not on our side.
But no, I'm like, because I'm on my side, the guy is winning.
Yes, but where we are here in Saudi Arabia, betting is not encouraged at any given moment. So, but I'll bet for Francis Ngannou. Yes. Yes.
Okay, shall see when
I have my 6 on Francis Ngannou.
The way your Francis did to Tyson Fury, the way AJ is going to do.
What?
After putting down, then you will say, how are you saying
And remember, I think Tyson Fury is one of the greatest boxers who can go down on ground with his height and weight. Then you recover. Because I've never seen many heavyweight boxers having that when you go down and recover. But Tyson Fury has that. So he's strong on that. On the side of Anthony Joshua, it's not the same. Anthony Joshua, when he goes down, he loses each and everything. Mentally, it gets over him, and I couldn't give us whatever I feel like.
It means that that's why when we saw Francis Ngannou, when they're like in the media walk, was ever boxing, the body punch is down.
Indicating there's something here coming. So those are dynamites all the way from
like when you see the belly for Tyson Fury, but the guy did box down. I don't know why Francis but did go down.
It was tricky for Tyson Fury. Remember his height and his reach, because his reach is so difficult to handle, and because you have to at least manage Tyson Fury, at least when you have a close fight with him. That's how you can at least get something out from him. But when you try to box him from the distance, it might not work out properly. But you might say he has a shabby, and what have you. The belly is what and what, but reaching there and doing some good work to effectively whatever you want the results. It's really not easy job to do. It's a very hard nut to crack on that point. So you can't fault him on that. I
don't think that the jab for Fury, which was stopping Ngannou from touching the belly, then the jab for AJ will stop him from touching down. Because if you see AJ, his jab is not too much like that of Fury. Because Fury has that triple jab.
That's why I'm telling you, now you're coming into my area of reasoning and understanding that any given moment somebody is going down. At one given moment, that's Tyson Fury with his the one he calls the wife.
The wife, the darling. After winning.
On his side, yes, after winning. So that's it on his side. But according to this fight here, the AJ and Francis Ngannou, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a very, very, very difficult night for Anthony Joshua. But on one side, I have to credit him because I was like, this guy is over dodging the Supreme and what have you. But tonight, he assured me that maybe he has to go for maybe he got some courage and what have you after whatever he saw against Tyson Fury. But if you ask Tyson Fury about Francis Ngannou, believe me, he has different answers apart from the ones he gives us in the media and what have you. And he has his own thoughts about this fight. So
it was like that. I believe that he's one of the hardest punchers.
You get that point. So I want to tell you, it's not going to be a simple night for Anthony Joshua. Remember Francis Ngannou. He has nothing to lose, as I've told you before, because for him he's just here. These are champions. These are champions, and for me, I'm just making my name through them. So for him, just
bring my money,
I eat, then we move on. So that's the card tonight. Maybe we're just going to sign out a little. Then we are still having a lot for you when it comes to this boxing event tonight in Riyadh. That's Kingdom Arena, because I want to tell you, you guys, the Muslims, if you come here in Saudi Arabia for Meccan pilgrimage or Hijrah, please just try to spare some time and you come here to Kingdom Arena. You just know whatever you're talking about, because it's one of the best places being constructed up for the sports as it is. But you're gonna give the history of how this thing started, how boxing started into Saudi Arabia, and the catalyst, how it was initiated, and how it was planned, and how they're planning it. How they're trying now to have different consortiums in different countries so that they can have sports across, and that they're trying to promote sports across the globe. So that's the kingdom itself trying to do to see how they can promote boxing in Saudi Arabia and outside Saudi Arabia. So that's it. Unless Chris, you have something to add a moment before we take a little break, then we come back with whatever is going to happen in Saudi Arabia. By the way, with their trainings and the way they're trying to put up the fight, the media works, the trash talks, whatever from different different camps, from the Anthony Joshua camp, from Francis Ngannou camp.
Saudi
They're
Arabia.
going to go through this and see whatever is really happening in Saudi Arabia. So that's how they're trying to construct the Kingdom Arena, because you are going to understand and you are going to tell the difference between UPBC boxing as one of your own, because we are giving each and everything concerning this boxing event night. That's Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou.
Okay, let's meet on that day.
Called Pangios, the origin is royal. Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has taken up core duties in ruling the Arab nation as his father is. Now age the rule has come with several notable changes, including increased efforts to diversify their economy into other aspects following the COVID-19 pandemic, when oil prices dropped and demand was low. Saudi Arabia has now come to face with a hard truth: it cannot continue to rely solely on oil. One of its major oil buyers, China, was hugely hit by the pandemic as travel restrictions were put in place, and both local and international travel almost completely shut down in response. Vision 2030, which was first announced in 2016, is being revived, and efforts have been amplified. It has been described as a plan to free the kingdom from its dependence on oil exports by ushering in a new era of diversification and
to go from the GB camp to going professional took him a whole year. He looks into things, his best options, what's right for him in the near future, and not what's best for him now. The Olympics gave him that platform, really, but he's built on it so much to the point where, we're getting some seriously heavy-hitting brands that are now working with Anthony and want to be a part of sort of brand. Joshua, I see we're in good company as well, and Mike, he's transcending boxing, what he's continuing to do in the ring, how he handles himself outside